students, we're going to get ready here to do example 3 of writing explicit formulas for concrete patterns. Hopefully you've already watched the first 2 and that you have stopped yourself at some point through those and tried to do things on your own. I really encourage you on this one to pause the recording right now, try to do the entire problem by yourself, and then watch the recording to see if you've done it right. After you do this, you're going to be taking a quiz, and in that quiz you're going to be expected to look at a brand new pattern and come up with a formula for that. So just kind of as a warning, I want to make sure that you are catching on to this. Feel free to review, all 3 of the examples multiple times. Sometimes watching things more than once can really make a difference. If watching those is still not doing it for you, make sure you email me so we can get together and figure this out together. Anyway, so I'm going to keep going on this. For right now, I am going to draw the 4th frame and the 7th frame. I'm going to go through this a little bit more quickly just so I don't bore you guys to tears. So for the 4th frame, I'm going to do the same thing as I've done before, which means I'm going to look at it recursively. How do I look at what's in the 3rd frame and use that as my basis for drawing the next frame? So if I look at the progression from 1 to 2 to 3, what I notice is that the legs, I'll call them the legs of these things, are increasing by 1, and the middle is increasing by 2. So if I take a look at what I've got going now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the horizontal. So that means I need to put 9. And if you haven't started doing this already, sometimes I get kind of lazy, and I'm going to make X's because I think that's faster than drawing boxes. We're still going to have the exact same idea going on. 2, 3. All right, and I need to add 1 onto each of the legs. They're at 3 now, so I need to make 4. So let's see, I've got 9, and then I've got 4 that are 4 long. So that's going to be an additional 16. So that's a 25 little squares or X's as I drew. Same thing. All right, so when I did 4, I did it recursively, which meant I looked at the 3rd and I added on to it. I take the time to do that one recursively because I'm trying to help you understand the difference between being recursive and explicit. That's the point. The goal is to make sure you can do it explicitly. So I'm going to jump to the 7th, and to do that recursively I would need to know the 6th, which means I would need to know the 5th and the 4th and so on. So I need to do this one explicitly. And so I look at the frame number and I compare it to what I've got going with the pattern. And I find the link. What's the pattern here? So what I am seeing is that these legs are exactly the same as the frame number. So that tells me when I draw my 7th frame, my legs are going to be 7. If I look at the middle, and this is probably the hardest one we've done so far, I have 7 here. The 2nd frame was 5. The 1st frame was 3. So this middle, this horizontal part of it is double the frame number plus 1. So if I double 6, try that again. If I double 3, that's 6, add 1 is 7. I double 2, that's 4, plus 1 is 5. I double 1, that's 2, plus 1 is 3. So let me go ahead and put what I'm going to need here. So I'm on the 7th frame, so double that is 14, plus 1 is 15. 2. Okay, these get a little tedious to draw. And then my legs, again, are exactly my frame number. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then if I'm putting this together, I've got 15 in the middle, and then I have 4 legs that are 7 each. So that's plus 28. So that's going to be 28, 38, 43. Okay, so now we want to do the 19th frame, and I'm not going to draw the X's, but I am going to kind of draw the skeleton or the outline of what the pattern would look like, because I think the visual helps most people to do this. So if I'm doing the 19th frame, then my horizontal line, right here in the middle, is going to be double 19, which is 38, plus 1, or 39. And each of my legs is going to be exactly the frame number, so that's 19. So I'm going to be adding, for my total, 39 plus 4 19s. And my total for that, I'm grabbing my calculator, because as you know, I hate to do these things in my head. That's 115. Okay? So then we come down and it's time to do the nth frame. So, again, I'm going to draw the picture just because it helps. You don't have to draw the picture, but I think it helps. At least most students. So when I'm doing the middle frame, I need to double the frame number plus 1. My frame number is n. So that becomes 2n plus 1. There we go. And each one of my legs is exactly n. So that makes my total formula then 2n plus 1 plus n plus n plus n plus n. So again, as I've said, get those as pluses, that'll get confusing. As I've said before, if you think you're going to mess it up, don't simplify it. Leave it as is. I'll count it correct even if it's in this nice long form. If you want to simplify it, you can. So I count up my n's. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 n's. And then I need to add 1 onto that. So I have 6n plus 4. So if I want to find the 32nd frame, so we're going to work with when n is 32, I do 6 times 32 plus 1, grabbing my calculator, 193. All right, a word about this one. Hopefully you've made it this far through this. Some people come up with a different way of creating the figures. And so they sometimes build the vertical lines, and then they put a bar in between those vertical lines. Whereas I did the horizontal line and then added the legs on. It doesn't matter how you did it. So if you came up with a slightly different way to do it, then your explicit formula when you first started it probably looked a little bit different. But if you simplify your explicit formula, it will come out to the exact same thing as mine, which is 6n plus 1. All right, I hope after this third one you guys are ready to go at one on your own in the quiz. Good luck.